everybody. Welcome back to Archetypical and our We Are Archetype series, continuing to introduce more of our team as they join right away, and even some that have been here a long time. Excited to continue to showcase really our most valued asset here at Archetype being our team. So why don't we dive right in and bring Keith on, and I'm going to have introduce you guys to Keith Brierley-Bowers. Did I say the last name right?
Yes, you did. That's pretty good.
I was a little nervous. I meant to ask you beforehand, what's the correct pronunciation? Um, totally going to start with a question that I don't have on the list. That I like to
Oh,
do a little fun one to start. Uh, if you could only pick one place for the rest of your life, that's the only place you'll go to vacation, and you can't have any other options now, what would it be?
ooh, that's tough. Actually, that's fairly simple. Planet Earth.
Oh no, no, not allowed, not allowed.
I'm not going into space on any of those Bezos or Virgin flights. I'm just going to stay here on planet Earth.
Nope, I'm not allowing it. I need a real place. I need a real place on planet Earth.
I don't know. That's just too tough. There are too many cool and interesting things still to see in this world that I haven't seen yet in person, and meet the people and just walk the streets, climb the mountain, walk through the woods, whatever it is. I'm not sure I could limit myself.
Fine, I'm gonna do this to you then.
All
I'm gonna
right,
go. You have to choose either beach or mountains.
mountains,
Mountains. Okay. See, easy enough.
and especially where they meet the ocean.
I like it. Awesome. Well, how about we have you start with kind of an introduction fully of who you are, kind of walk me through your career a little bit, and then what your role is here at Archetype.
Okay. Well, Keith works much better than trying to say my last name or spell it. Um, I live in Western Massachusetts, absolutely fantastic area. I can walk out my back door and go for a hike. So, figuring out where to vacation has to be more exciting. Um, my career has been about helping organizations become more effective and efficient, develop new capabilities, and making people's jobs easier. If it's easier to be successful, they're happier at work. And we spend way too much time at work for us not to be happy at work.
Mm.
So that's what my career has been about. And, the vehicle to make things more effective and efficient is enabled by technology, right? We can redesign a process, but we're going to enable it with technology. You don't just throw technology at it, because you've got to make sure you got the right process. But ultimately, that's what you need. And so that's why I've been in this space of putting in systems, helping organizations become more effective, efficient. I've been a consultant, I've been an employee, I've worked at companies, with 50 people, I've worked at companies with 300,000. Kind of like working at a company that's a little more smaller, where you get to know everybody. Um, it's a little more personal. So that's sort of in a nutshell, unless you want more details on
Oh yeah,
individuals.
that's good. And I like the aspect that you mentioned, kind of our size. It allows us to be nimble. Is always the definition I've heard people say, where we can really focus on those key problems, and as that we're solving for clients. And as you mentioned, just not throwing tech at it for the sake of throwing tech at it, like really focusing on that process to
Mm.
make sure it's going to be successful, whatever technology that they end up implementing or putting in. Um, and you've spent a significant part of your career serving both in crucial points, finance and IT.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely.
when did you first recognize the value of like this role that you're in now for companies, and developed that interest?
So that sort of evolved. And the first place I saw where, and it wasn't finance and accounting as you think about corporate accounting, it was in banking.
Mm.
And I was in commercial operations, and really, it's all about the IT systems. Your money is in IT systems. Even when I ran the vaults and we had stacks of cash around, how organizations interacted with that money was through IT systems. And it's the processes around that IT system. The IT system has all the information you need, and it's other people's money. So you've got to make sure that is really good, really consistent, really easy to use. And that just evolved into how do we manage organizations? We've got accounting that records history. We have finance that projects the future that helps us decide what we're going to go try to do. You got to have systems that can help present a clear picture to the people that are making those decisions in a timely fashion so that they can make the best decisions around it. There's no one right answer in the business world or in general in the real world. It's not like some standardized test. But you got to give them the information they need in a clear, concise fashion without all sorts of screw ups and whatever else. So that's where I got into this, you know?
Yeah. And when was your initial experience, obviously with OneStream, and you deal so heavily even here at Archetype with some of our OneStream implementation work that we do. So, uh, when was your first role with that, and how did that impact you?
Oh, well, that was during the pandemic, first time I
Huh?
came across OneStream. And I've implemented a variety of systems, done projects, managed all sorts of different types of systems. And when I saw and started to understand about OneStream and the capabilities of the platform, and many applications will tell you they're a platform, right? But there is truly so much we can do, and it's continued to evolve with OneStream. I just looked at that and said, this is a great future. There is so much I can do to help organizations within this framework, within using OneStream to do a variety of different things, helping finance and planning, accounting, the management of an organization. I said, this is going to be fun and exciting.
Yeah. And on top of that, I know you have the OCP lead architect certification,
Yeah.
which obviously is impressive overall. I know we've chatted about it in the past, even when you first came on board here at Archetype, but give a little insight into kind of what your experience was, if you don't mind, of kind of that exam, and even what that took to get that.
Um, so there's a couple of things. Obviously, they have to have a process and a set of criteria and a standardization to that exam, right? In order to be able to put that stamp out there. And it is the topic areas, just preparing for it with all the topic areas that you can go through really helps you get that cross the platform view of capabilities and considerations. When you're on projects, you're focused in much more in specific areas. So you may not catch that broader view of what can we do with the application? What can we do with this platform? And I really need that in that role when I'm in there with the client, helping them figure out how we can solve their business need, right? It's not about here's a tool to plug into one little spot. They think they know what they want. Um, it's helping them understand more how we can solve their need. And it may be a pain point, it could be they need a new capability. So
Yeah.
the exam, the prep for the exam, really helped with solidifying a view across the entire platform. I've got deep experience in various spots, which you won't get from the exam,
Yeah.
but it's that overarching view.
That's great.
And God,
Yeah.
it's
And I
been a I've been in school, so studying for an exam was.
Yeah, no, totally. Hey, I have to give you a lot of kudos. I don't even know if you realize this, but I was doing some looking up of in general on the OCP lead architect certification, and you are one of only two in the state of Massachusetts for individuals with the OCP lead architect cert. So,
Okay.
and that should show, I mean, and there's a lot of people obviously across the nation that still have it, but to show how few still do, and even in Massachusetts here in the Northeast, like you're got 50% here at Archetype right now. So, uh, well, obviously, and something that we've talked about even a lot already, but an emphasis for us at Archetype is driving that meaningful business outcome for our clients. So rather than just applying some of the latest technology, even how great some of this technology can be with OneStream and all, in your view, though, what are the key factors in determining that business value of these transformation initiatives?
So it gets back to the business need, right? And making an organization more effective, efficient, developing new capabilities. And part of that solution and how we tell have we been successful is you got to remember it's individuals in that organization executing that process. Have you made it easier for them to be successful? You can give them all the cute little perks in the world, but if being successful at work is pain and suffering, you're going to hate your job
Mm,
and you're not going to do well at it. So you make it easier for them to be successful. Then it's not only do you have happier employees, but it makes it easier for you for that our client that we're putting this in for to deliver to their customers, make their customers happy, and help make their overall stakeholders in a better position. You know, whatever your organizational structure is, whether it's a corporation, part of the government, a not for profit, whatever it is, you can make all of your constituents happier.
I like that. I love how you bring that into the individual aspect of a single employee that we're even working with at a client site and making their success be surrounded by this transformation and what they're going to be doing, and not also their success being just around the company's success, but their happiness there. And some of that is like we've had people that I know that were working 60 hours in order to take care a week to do closing consolidations and close their books. And now with like implementing some of these new tools, they're like, oh, I can now have an actual 40-hour week and can bring that 20 hours back home to my family and not be in the office during that at unnecessary levels. So it's powerful how that it can translate to there.
Absolutely. Work
Yeah.
is only part of our life.
That's for sure. Yeah. So I'd love to go back and give people who are maybe still at the early stages of their career, even in college, and with somebody with your experience and all the things that you've great stuff and awesome career that you've had even thus far. Uh, if you could go back to your even college years and offer yourself a piece of like career advice or even advice to somebody who's in that stage of their life now, what would it be?
Well, I guess my first question is which one of my college years um,
Yeah,
across the various degrees. But if you're talking undergraduate, right,
yeah,
you know, the most formative years in that, um, one is life is not a race. And two is don't define yourself by your job. It's an important part of your life, but there's more to you than that.
yeah. I'm curious, what was your degree in again, by the way?
Which one?
Your undergraduate.
Social sciences.
Yeah. So that's how do you see I always love to do this question of like how do you see some of the things that you learned in that even that degree have translated to your role now?
um, so, one thing is in college is you hopefully learn to work with other people. That translates into 99% of what happens in the workforce,
Yeah.
right? But within this very liberal arts social science degree, that's where I got my core of being able to learn, questioning things, and really being able to analyze information that came to me and come up with a variety of alternative views and perspectives. I can argue against myself all day long on any given topic from multiple viewpoints.
Mm,
Coming in and being able to take information from a variety of different sources, different industries, different corporations, and whatnot, and look at where I am, and talk to the people there and synthesize a variety of options is something that I really learned starting in undergraduate.
Yeah, wow, I love that. I know not to obviously choose to debate with you on anything. That's great though. I've always loved to see how sometimes people's initial degree or that they went and got in school may not have been the exact kind of path that's the most common of like if you go to school for accounting and finance and you end up in accounting and finance roles, it's kind of fitting. But there's a lot of times that people don't end up in the roles that they went to school for, but the skills translate to so many other industries. And that's always I think it's always great to showcase that for people who are in college to think about like how are these skills that I'm learning not just a specific career path.
Yeah, and one of the things is I believe in just in time learning. I have a need to learn something for something I'm going to work on. I need to have a framework and a capability to ingest that and make it useful quickly. And that, I think, is one of the biggest things you can get out of your educational career.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have that framework. You don't go to school and study a business case and say, "Oh, that is the answer." No, you study the business case for how do you approach a problem and how do they come up with a answer? Because this is a real world. There's more than one right answer.
100%. That's like I think it was Mark Cuban who said that he'd rather hire a coder or developer who has zero code experience, but was taught how to learn and how to solve problems rather than somebody coming out of college with 4 years of specifically coding experience. Because they'll the ones who are solving problems and know the outcomes or the
Hmm.
problem the solutions in them are going to be the ones that can kind of create new innovative solutions around problems, not just necessarily a one-way street type of thing.
Oh, yeah. And you have to recognize, even though I might have worked in that job one place and now I'm consulting to a company in the exact same area, it's a different company, it's a different time. The context of the world that they're operating in is different.
Yeah.
You can't just plug and play the exact same solution.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Awesome, Keith. Well, I'm super excited to have you on board here at Archetype. I'm hoping for a long and fun career here with you. And definitely, everybody, if you connect with or with Keith on LinkedIn, and definitely reach out to him if you ever want to chat and have any questions on business value that Archetype could be bringing or Keith can be bringing to you. So, thanks again, Keith, and everybody tune in next time for who else we bring on board to meet of our team here at Archetype.
Thank you very much. It's been great.